One of Freedom's best friends to Alberta and to Strathmore, Mr. Randy Hillier.
Can I take that off? Or not? You got me all wide.
What about this?
Oh, there we go. You got anything?
There we are.
Thank you muchly. I gotta get up close and personal. I've been going around talking a wee little bit lately, talking about freedom in Canada, talking about freedom in the PPC party and Maxime Bernier. So let me see if I can get my voice here tonight. But listen, it's wonderful. Everywhere we go, the crowds are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But as the crowds get bigger, the media keep away. The media keep away, but not the Western Standard, and not the independent media, the mainstream media. And just like governments, they're trying to ignore the call of Canadians for freedom. The mainstream media is ignoring us, trying to ignore us. Our governments are trying to ignore us. Our pollsters are trying to ignore us. That we don't exist. That Canadians don't really want freedom. We just want to live under this narrative of fear and terror and danger that our governments and our media are pushing on us. But it's not true. It's not true. And we're going to see on Monday just how untrue their story is. And I'm going to say, this vote on Monday, some people think that it's just an election and it's just going to be about who we elect to represent us in the House of Commons. Well, it's far more than that. Far more about. On Monday, we're going to decide if our children and our grandchildren have a future in this country. That's what's at stake on Monday. Monday is not just an election. Monday is a battle and a war for freedom or a war against tyranny or acceptance. And we can see all the major political parties, Trudeau, O'Toole, Singh, the Greens, they're all on one side of they're all invested in this narrative of fear, this wanting to keep you terrorized. They're all in favor of vaccine passports. They're all in favor of mandatory vaccines. And they're all, with O'Toole's announcement last week, they're all in favor of gun control and taking our guns away as well. And then there's one party, and only one party, that stands separate, that stands apart, and that's Maxime Bernier and the PPC party. It stands for freedom. So I know there's a lot of worried conservatives out there, a lot of worried conservatives who are going on with this misinformation about the vote split. I'm going to tell you, there is a vote split. You can either vote for one of those four socialists, or you can vote and split the vote and vote for Maxime and freedom. That's the vote split. Freedom, 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 freedom. And as I said in Toronto yesterday when we were down at a rally at the CPC building, what we know is that freedom beats fear every time. Freedom beats their fear. And we know why this is so important. For 18 months now, our governments and our media and our public health units have been escalating, and relentless in telling us a story of lies and falsehoods, right? At first it was 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Then it was a couple more weeks to not overwhelm our hospitals. Then it was stay at home, you're too dangerous. You might get the flu. And then we said, just another lockdown. One lockdown will close everything up. And then they said, well, then let's wear masks all the time. If we all wear masks, then that'll end this COVID madness. And then it was a second lockdown. And then Ontario, a third lockdown. And in most of the country, we closed our borders and we couldn't go see our family members in other provinces. We isolated and confined and put our elderly and our loved ones in a state of fear and terror in their last days of their lives. And then we masked up our little children and kids and said, they're dangerous, they may hurt their siblings, they may kill their moms and dads. Just mask them up a little more. And every time, it just more. Then it was the vaccines. Just take a vaccine. Then it'll be all okay once we get the vaccines. And then, well, to make sure you get 2 vaccines. And now let's make sure you get boosters. And now let's make sure we have vaccine passports. This narrative of fear doesn't end until we end it. This narrative of fear is a political crisis across our country. It's not a health crisis. It never has been. And a political crisis can only be solved in one spot, and that's the ballot box. On Monday, we do our job. We end this narrative of fear. We end this madness. That's how we do it on Monday. And we can see, you can't trust a bloody one of them, can you? In Ottawa or in our provinces. In June, Jason Kenney said, we're going to treat this like the flu, like it is. He said, we're going to open up, we're never going to lock down again. Right? Then a day or two, yesterday was it? The mandatory vax passport. Right? I think I heard something about Jason Kenney, and he's so fearful of Wild Rose right now. He's going to ban and delist the Wild Rose as Alberta's flower, right? And instead, he's going to make it the pansy, because that's what he is. He's nothing but a pansy, and he won't stand up, and he's got no backbone. But he's not alone. O'Toole's the same thing. And Doug Ford in Ontario, where I am, a month ago, it would be unconstitutional to have a vaccine passport. Well, on Tuesday, the vaccine passport comes in. Don't trust a bloody one of them. Not a one of them. They're so invested in this narrative of fear, they don't know how to get out of it. There's only one party, only one leader, who's got the courage and the backbone and the integrity to end this narrative of fear. Let's vote for him on Monday. And I'll say this as well. You know, the pollsters are trying to disempower us. The pollsters and the media are trying to say that we don't exist and we're just a fringe group and we can't have any effect on the election. But let me tell you this. By our own government's records, there's 6.5 million Canadians, just like everyone here in this audience. Just like me and you, just like Maxime, like all your candidates, who believe in freedom, who don't believe in vaccine passports. 6.5 million. And we know in the last federal election, Justin Trudeau won that election with 6 million votes. Can we win? You're absolutely right we can win. You get off the couch, get to the polls, put a lawn sign in your yard. Help, tell your neighbors, we can win this. We have to win this. This is too big of a battle not to. And I'll say to everyone here, Canadians have faced many, many crises over our history. Huge battles, world wars. But every time we stood together in freedom, we stood up to every crisis, and we never lost once. We always won. Freedom has always won in Canada. And just like how my parents and your parents, my grandparents and your grandparents stood and fought for our freedom, we have to do the same on Monday for our children and our grandchildren. And listen, they faced far bigger odds. They faced real danger, real enemies, real hurt, bombs and bullets. All the left have, all the politicians have, and the media have, is words of shame and scorn and ridicule. Well, I learned a long time ago that sticks and stones may break my bones, but names are never going to hurt me, and they're not going to hurt any of us. No, yeah, I might have one more. Thank you. So listen, Monday's a big day, a big step, a big leap for all of us, for our children and our grandchildren. But it's not the end of the battle, it's just the beginning of the battle. We've been doing a lot of things wrong in this country for a long time. And we've been on a slippery slope for a long, long time. Monday, we start climbing back up that slippery slope. We start climbing that slippery slope together once again. And I'm going to be climbing that slope with Maxime Bernier, the PPC party, with all of you. And we're going to get back up that hill, back up to the top of that hill where we have the freedom to have our faith, our families, and a future for all of us. Thank you very much. Let's bring up Maxime Bernier. And let's walk up that slippery slope together.
Strong and free, from storm wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Oh my God! What a nice introduction. I want also, just wait. Yes, I want also quote John Diefenbaker in 1960, the 1st of July, Canada Day. he said, and I believe that's why we are here today. John Diefenbaker said, Canada Day, 1st of July 1960, I'm a Canadian, a free Canadian, free to speak without fear, free to worship God in my own way, free to stand for what I think right, free to oppose what I believe wrong, free to choose those who shall govern my country. This heritage of freedom I pledge to uphold for myself and all mankind. That's what we want to do also. Yes, we are free, and yes, we are here today because we know that without freedom, there's no human dignity, there's no equality of rights, there's no economic prosperity. And we know that freedom is the foundation of our country, of our Western civilization values. That's the fight. That's why this election is an historical election, because we want our country back. And I can tell you, this movement is growing, and next Monday, that will be the beginning of a common sense revolution in our country, a freedom revolution in our country. And we will do that together. Yes. We are at an important point in our history. When we started the campaign a couple of weeks ago, and before that, I was with Randy and other freedom fighters all across the country, fighting for our rights. And when we started the first rally in Montreal, if we had 100 persons, that was a maximum. But you know what? At that time, maybe common sense was not that common. But I can tell you that the last rally in Montreal that I did, we were 55,000 people fighting for our rights. And common sense will be with us. Common sense is with us. Because we believe in you. We don't believe in a big fat government that will tell you what to do with your life, that you must have a vaccine passport. Never. Feminists couple of years ago were telling us, my body, my choice. I can say that right now, yes, my body, my choice. It's our choice. And yes, we believe in you. We believe and we have faith in you. We have faith that you have the ability, the dignity, and the right to make your own decisions and determine your own destiny. That's our country. That's a free country, a free and a democratic country. But now, with Trudeau and O'Toole and all the other politicians, I don't recognize my country anymore. And I can tell you that I had a call from the mainstream media that don't want to cover us because they know that what we are saying, it's powerful when you speak about science, the truth based on facts and common sense. They know that it's powerful, that's why they didn't want to cover us. But they called me. The mainstream media called us when protesters were following Justin Trudeau everywhere, and they were using their words as their weapons, and they were not so happy. So they called me, and they wanted us to condemn that. And I said, no. We believe in freedom in this country. We believe in freedom of choice. We believe in freedom of expression. And these Canadians have the right to express their point of view. And they were mad. That's what I said to the mainstream media. They were mad, and they had a reason for that. And I'm mad also today because we are losing our country with these totalitarian politicians that are taking it away from us. Yes, we are mad, and Monday, that will be our day. Because as you know, Justin Trudeau said to the civil servants working for the federal government, you know, if you want to work for the federal government, you need to have your 2 shots, your vaccine passport. And he said, if you don't have your vaccine passport, and I quote, there will be consequences. Translation. He said, I will punish you if you don't have your vaccine passport. I'm telling to Justin Trudeau and O'Toole, we will punish you next Monday. We will punish you. PPC. Yes, we know what we have to do next Monday. They told us, like Randy said, 2 weeks, only 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Rather than telling them 3 days to flatten the lies, only 3 days to flatten the lies. Contrary to O'Toole and Trudeau, that they are doing identity politics, racial politics, political correctness, and they are dividing us. They started by race, by gender, and now by vaccination status. We are saying no to that, and what we will do, we will unite Canadians under the freedom umbrella. Because we know that vaccine passport, it's not based on science, because we know that every Canadian, vaccinated ones or unvaccinated ones, everybody can spread the virus. So why doing segregation? Why doing that segregation? There's no reason. The vaccine works, so if the vaccine works, why I cannot go to a restaurant with another person near me that he is or she is vaccinated? There's no risk. I'm not a danger. I'm just a citizen, and I want everybody to be equal before the law. We believe in equality and in freedom. And more people are coming on our side because they know that we are there to put Canadians first, our country first, and we don't want that discrimination anymore. And I tell you, in Quebec, there's the vaccine passport there. It's in force. I cannot go to a restaurant, but I will be able to go to my church. Where is the logic there? There's no logic. Do you believe that there's a lot of viruses in a restaurant and no virus in my church? There's no logic. Do you know why I'm able to go to my church? Because the Catholic Church was very efficient at doing their lobbying to the provincial government. That's only a lobby question. It's not based on science. And I can tell you, since they imposed that vaccine passport in Quebec, we have more people that are fed up. They don't want to live in a show me your papers society. They don't want to live under a communist country. And don't forget, here in Alberta, Jason Kenney said that he's giving all his support to O'Toole. I know why. Because yes, Kenney and O'Toole share the same point of view on imposing a vaccine passport. Kenney will do that to you here in Alberta, and O'Toole is okay with that. And so that will be everywhere in Canada, that vaccine passport, because O'Toole is okay to spend $1 billion to give that to provinces to be sure that these provinces will impose a vaccine passport on us. I'm saying no to that here in Alberta. I'm saying no to that everywhere. Everywhere. We need to do that common sense revolution, because you know, like me, when tyranny becomes law, revolution becomes our duty. It is our duty. And you can count on us, all our candidates across the country, and myself. We will always fight for what we believe. We will always use our words. Like I said to the police when they arrested me in Manitoba after a rally, a gathering in a park, as you know, has been arrested, handcuffed, and put in jail for a non-crime after a political gathering. But what I said to that police at that time, when he asked me, do you have any weapons? Do you have anything that can hurt me? I said, no. Weapons? No. Only my words, only my philosophy. And as you can see, I'm using my weapons now and all during this campaign, and our words are very efficient. They are very efficient, and I want to thank you because you're doing the same thing. This political movement is growing not because of the mainstream media, but because of you. You are helping us. You are fighting for you. You are fighting for your children. You are fighting to keep our country like it was before COVID-19. It's not the mainstream media, but the real independent media, True North, Rebel, Uncensored, they are there to tell the truth based on facts. And I know that CPC, they're very scared about their future because they know CPC, they know what we will do after this election. We can save $1 billion by cutting the CPC, and we will do it. No more propaganda. And so, when I'm saying that, when I'm speaking about our values in New Brunswick, in Atlantic Canada, here in Alberta, and in BC, it's not only former conservative voters that are coming with us. It's people who voted Liberals, NDP, that are coming because they know, like you, like me, that this election, it's all about our freedom and our way of life. That's why we are growing, and that's why this election, Monday, won't be the end. It will only be a new beginning, because you can count on me. I'm doing my best to be back in Parliament, and we will have a freedom voice. I don't know how many candidates will be elected, but I can tell you we'll have some candidates that will be with me in Ottawa in Parliament, and we will have a freedom voice, a common sense voice in Parliament. But I will need you, and I will be with you after that election. Yes, I'll be in the street, and if we need to do more protests, I'll be there with you in the street, and our team will be with you in the street to protest. Because we know what may be the result. The result may be a minority government, Liberals or Conservative. That's the same thing. That will be the same thing. O'Toole and Trudeau are the same. I call them the Lib Con Party or the Con Lib Party with one leader, Justin O'Toole. They're the same. They're the same on the most important issue for the country, our freedom and our unity. O'Toole doesn't want to speak about pipelines. He doesn't want to speak about the equalization formula, to be less generous and having a new formula that would be fair for every province. He doesn't want to speak. And what he's doing is taking your vote for granted. That's what he's doing here in Alberta. But you know what to do. Don't waste your vote next Monday. And I believe that a lot of Albertans won't waste their vote. They will vote for their values. They will vote for their country. Thank you. Yes. We will be there. And also, O'Toole and Trudeau, you know, they're the same on balancing the budget. Can you believe a conservative party that is supposed to be conservative, but that party is only conservative in name? O'Toole said that he will balance the budget in 10 years, but the most interesting, in the debate in French, I will translate that, but because I'm pretty sure that he won't tell you that in English to you here. I must admit, his French was not too bad, but what he said in French, when he had a question about balancing the budget, the journalist said, how will you do that? And you know, that was a long answer, a long political answer, and you have to listen. What is the answer? You have to listen until the end. And the journalist asked again, because he was not happy with the answer. How will you balance the budget? And O'Toole said, without cuts, without cuts. So what he said the same thing that Justin Trudeau said a couple of years ago. The budget balance itself. That's what he said. It won't happen. It won't happen. You need to have the courage of your conviction and tell the truth to Canadians. That's what you need to do. And we know what to do to be able to balance a budget in 4 years. We will do what we have to do. Yes, we'll cut the CPC. Yes, we will cut. We will cut foreign aid. We can save $5 billion there. You know, the agenda, the UN agenda, is it 2030 or 2040? Or I don't mind, I don't care. We will work on our own agenda for the sovereignty of our country. We are saying no to the UN, a dysfunctional organization, no to the UN Compact on Migration, and like Patrick said, no to the Paris Accord. We want to impose a carbon tax. Actually, the climate is always changing. What we need to change is the climate of the public opinion. That's our goal. That's the only climate that we will change all together. So, they're the same. And now, O'Toole is telling you, and he called everybody in Alberta, you know, the line now, what you must say to the media, a vote for the PPC is a vote for Trudeau. Can you really believe that if you vote for our PPC candidate here, that you will end up with a Liberal that will win in your riding? They won't be able, Trudeau won't be able to elect a Liberal in Alberta. So a vote for the PPC, it's a vote for yourself. It's a vote for your values. It's a vote for the future of our country. And some people may say, you know, Maxime, the freedom ideas are not that popular today. Oh yes, there's a silent majority out there that they're looking at you, they're looking at us. They know that they don't like the direction of our country now with more socialism, but they don't have the courage to come in our rallies or to speak out about what they believe. But I can tell you that silent majority next Monday will be with us, and that's why we will be able to win that battle of ideas. And I can tell you that at the end of this campaign, when my team asked me, okay, Maxime, this is your agenda for the campaign, where do you want to end your campaign? And I said, here in Alberta. Because, yes, in the beginning of my political career in 2007, I jumped into politics in 2006 at 43 years old. But at that time, when I was minister under Harper, I was speaking about freedom and free market and less government intervention in our life. And a journalist from the Global Mail wrote a piece on me at that time, and he said, Bernier is the Albertan from Quebec. And when he said that, I was very proud, and that's why I like to use that. Yeah, because we share the same values. You know, like me, that government is not the solution. The government is the problem, and our politicians are the problems. And you know, with a smaller government in Ottawa, that will give you more freedom, that will give to your province more autonomy by respecting the Constitution. You know that it's only the solution to keep this country united, because O'Toole won't speak in Eastern Canada about Western alienation. For him, you know, you're happy, you will vote for the Conservative Party, everything is nice here in Western Canada. No, it is not. And I know why you're mad about Ottawa. Because the policies coming from the Liberals or the Conservatives are always the same, and it's always against Western Canada. No pipelines, equalization, no reform, Paris Accord, and I know that if we are against that, against the Paris Accord, for the pipelines, and for changing the equalization money, I know it's good here in Alberta, but I'm proud to speak about it also in Quebec in French. Because every province must have more autonomy if we want to keep this country united. And that's the question of this election. The ballot question will be for this election. Do you want to save our country and having a more decentralized country that will be able, where we will be able to live our life and do what we want to do without more government control, without more tyranny? And that will be the question. And I believe that a lot of Canadians will choose freedom, no, and they're going to say no to government control, more freedom, and no more government control. That's the question of this election. So, merci, thank you. So I count on you, and I'm very pleased to be here and finish my campaign here with you in Alberta. Don't forget, we still have 3 days. We still have 3 days, and there's still some Canadians that don't know there's another option here, our option. Because I believe that they know that all the other options suck, but we are the only option for this country and for you and for Canadians. And if you are following me, you know how I end my speech, and I will end that little speech with the same quote that I like from John F. Kennedy. The quote that he said in 1961, 1 year after the one that I started my speech from John Diefenbaker, 1960, Kennedy in 1961 at his inauguration speech after being elected. And what he said at that time, I like that quote because that quote is very actual for today. And we are living now here in Canada in the same situation that they had at that time in the US. And Kennedy said, in the long history of the world, only few generations have been taking the role of defending freedom in its maximum hour of danger. You are that generation. This is your role, and now is the time. Now is the time. Let's live strong and free. I count on you, you can count on us. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Maxime. Thank you. Freedom. Does yes we can come to mind? Yes, yes we can. Thank you very much. Give him another round of applause. Thank you, Maxime. But what can you do? Thank you. I think Maxime has certainly inspired us, but we've got 72 hours. You can tell by Maxime and Randy's voices that they're not leaving anything on the table, but we don't, or anything on the field, as the saying goes. We don't want you to do that either. So what can you do in the next 72 hours? You can, if some of you may have got an email from us saying "Forward for Freedom." what you can do is go to the People's Party of Canada.ca website and take some of these messages, forward your candidate's name to your friends. If you and one of the things that works well is texting. Take the COVID policy and text it to your friends. And if your friends text you back and tell you that they're not interested in politics, call them back and tell them, my grandpa wasn't interested in war either, but he went twice so we could have a better life. And Maxime is at war for us, and I think you can help with that war. Kelly, what do you think? Yes, we're gonna do some pictures up here. Don't go away. I'm talking about texting to your friends. Maxime's going to be right here if you want to come and form a line with Maxime. Maxime would be happy to have a picture with you. Get a picture with Maxime and then text it to your friends and tell them who you're voting for. So thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for coming. 72 hours till we have a new Prime Minister. So let's all go home and keep spreading the word. Thank you very much.